All right. Definitely the person of topic in Duck Hunt community, in as a Duck Hunt player in general. Big Duck Hunt fan. So we do finally get to talk about him, and you know, he's done great online. He lives, breathes, and exudes like Wi-Fi. Just everything about his playstyle and everything, and he uses that to his advantage extremely well in Wi-Fi brackets. Like you watch him play top players, like he was able to beat. I think Spargo was a 2-0 victory or a 3-0 victory. He's beaten Meister. He's beaten a lot of good players, like actually good players he's beaten. However, there's a lot of things that will become very, very apparent that he can get away with it because it's on Wi-Fi. You cannot get away with it because you're playing in person. That 7-frame factor that you have is gigantic, and especially when you're playing against like a character like Greninja, where they do have that really, really good grounded burst range and they can actually punish those things out of shield. That's the difference where you're going to notice like those 7 frames is like the difference between that top player like just destroying you, or it, like you get away scot-free and you get to be free with it. So the positives of a big Duck Hunt fan: execution's amazing, extremely good punish game too. Like that is one thing that you cannot doubt him with. If he touches you, he can definitely do a lot of damage or kill you off of it. It's just the big issue that comes down to it is he goes into a very, very big cycle, because what he does on Wi-Fi, very safe, very, very, very hard to punish. And your window of where you can actually be to punish him is very small. Like, take the Wi-Fi safety out of it, it's still a pretty narrow gap that you have to find in order to like get in and punish him. But it's very doable, and especially when he keeps doing it over and over again, you get the time to learn and you get the time to punish it. The other thing too is just like I think he's just like very, very committed to his ways, because it's just like, hey, if I do this, I should be safe. He won't punish it, and I don't think he's really been in a setting where that type of playstyle has been challenged a lot. And I do feel like this tournament was like the big first time that was going to happen. Like, as some of you guys know, like I betted him like $100 that after he made it out of pools, he would lose the first set. The thing that sucks is that you can never quite guarantee what players that you're going to play outside in bracket. So he didn't have to fight the Bayo before he had to fight JW, but I figured he probably could beat that. And then in losers, he really didn't fight anybody too crazy until he fought a Shulk. So like there were two type of players that I thought would give him a big challenge. Good player, so JW, he was like the former best player in Canada, so absolutely somebody that should be able to beat him. And then like matchups that are hard that he was unfamiliar with, and I'm going to assume he's not familiar with Shulk, and the Shulk that he fought in losers like 3-0'd him. Overall, still great. First big tournament he ever went to, he got 65th, so nothing to sneeze at all. Like most of us that went to our first tournament, we did not do that good. We didn't make it out of pool. So, all respects to that. He did great. And he's also really young too. Like he's still in high school. I did not get a new mic. This is the same mic I've been using for a while. Yeah. So those are kind of the big things. I forget. There's one situation that I vividly remember where I saw the frame difference come out. And that's the thing that I'm going to kind of talk about. So, if you are watching this, big Duck Hunt fan, this is like kind of the main differences I was talking about. But yeah, the two type of players that he did lose to were the ones that I fully expected him to lose to. And I expected him to like run into those things like, winners finals of pools or outside of pools. And then also in, right after it. It's just, it happened like one set later than I expected it to. But basically, the people that I thought he would lose to, he did end up losing to. But I think it sucks is that he actually had no way that I could pay him. So I haven't paid up yet. But that's mostly just because he doesn't have PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. So I couldn't even send it to him if I wanted to yet. But yeah. Also, please do let me know if the volume is good on everything, because I do not know how loud the match commentary is against mine. But real quick, before we do get into this, Greninja Duck Hunt. This is a like even or winning matchup for Duck Hunt. The good things, the positives of Greninja: burst range is insane, and he can get a lot off of dash attack. After that, the positives end. His speed is good. okay kill confirms. Like, because he can do it off of dash attack and down tilt, which are fast, he can like get those in. It's just the issue of Greninja getting in is very hard. Like, you know, he's got Shuriken, which, you know, a little annoying, but it's nothing that wins a set. And then if you lock down Can, it's even less of an issue, which he probably will do. Like, if he does full charge Water Shuriken, the multi-hits will lock Can into Anger Can, and basically you just jump over it, and then his Water Shuriken pressure is useless after that. So he needs to come over and approach you, and then you can also, like, have Gunman set up, so then that way you ping Can, Gunman punishes him. The other thing, too, or even you can short hop, like, Clay Pigeon over it, too. The other thing as well is that his out of shield game is atrocious. So if he gets locked in shield, not much you can do. His frame data in there is awful unless his back is facing you because Bear's fast. But you can basically you can jump and throw out an aerial and stop every single aerial approach that he has. The one positive is that, like, he can convert a lot off of, like, Nair, and, like, you know, Fair is strong, but it's slow. And his disjoints are big enough that he can neglect Shield Can, but you have to do max spacing. Most Greninjas are not going to do that. It's going to be very rare for you to find a Greninja that knows the matchup super, super well, and they can control their character enough that they're going to get the absolute max spacing on Nair. Because that's not easy to get to like get around Shield Can. Like, you basically need to have perfect spacing for that to work. So even then, that's not really too reliable. So you can control neutral very well. If he does get in, he can kind of stay on top of you and prevent you from setting up. So your only goal really is to get to ledge, because he doesn't exactly have the best ledge trapping tools. It's just that he can move fast for the most part. And then once you get that one grab and you set up, then it's like hell for him again. And the good thing too is because you can get that, you could do Bear Can, you can harass him off stage very, very well. And that makes it a little bit hard for him to recover. But it's just that if you do that, you don't really have the Can for the ledge trap setup, which normally is better, but you can kill him a little bit earlier with that too. So Gunman off stage, like, to have it drop, very good against Greninja because he's got to recover low. And, like, once he has to Hydro Pump, that can be pretty easy to intercept. But if you never fought him, you know, not something you really want to risk. So, you know, Cover the ledge as Duck Hunt, keep Can at roll distance, just because Shadow Sneak will mess with it. And then afterwards you can switch spots. So that's kind of it. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll talk about more specifics as they come up. So yeah, Greninja's fast. He can do that. So there he was just, like, very confident in that. What Big Duck Hunt fan did here is not bad. Like, drop through Can is a very common thing, and on some stages, like, Greninja can't punish that. This happens to be the one where you start close enough where he can do that. So nothing to slouch there. Also, right there, pretty big drop and, like, sort of unfamiliar with Greninja right here. So did that. So, like, right when that happened, he could have just, like, jumped back and then just been ready for Shield Can. Because, like, Greninja's going to come in, he's going to get blown up. He really didn't have to wait for that. Also, the other John I'll give him is that he was using a GameCube controller instead of a Pro controller. So that is one John I'll give him. Because I don't know if he uses the extra buttons on that. And just the general feels of those are different. Oh god, no, the instant double jumps that he does, really bad for this matchup, because, like, if Greninja touches you, you've got no resources to land. Also, don't land on top of Greninja. Horrible idea. Don't need to do that to yourself. He's going to beat you. He died so early, man. But yeah, basically he made, like, 2 or 3 mistakes and he died. So yeah, when you play against a top player, it's just, that's going to be a thing that happens. But yeah, overall, just kind of moving around and not setting up for safety. And yeah, Greninja can beat you. You're not going to beat Greninja in the movement game, so you don't play that. Oh, he probably did. Also, like, look at this. So Greninja's running after you. He's significantly faster than you. There is no way you can hit this can and intercept him. So you have two options. You play it under here so he cover jumps, so that way you know he can only run in. And if you throw out a fair, he's not going to grab you. You can just stuff out his like dash attack and relatively safe. He can't grab you. So you can grab and get him. If he spot dodges, the most that he can do is like down smash, I think. Because I don't think he's got enough time to like throw an F smash out for that. Or like maybe a down tilt. But, you know, if you pop up, then Ken's going to also cover you as well. So he's just not going to have too many options there. But he could have also jumped up and like just been right here. So then that way when he tries to like pressure Can, he just gets blown up by shield Can. And so this is another thing. Huge Wi-Fi thing. So at this point, I don't know exact what frame he's at, but, you know, normally pretty safe. He did not have enough time to throw out shield. So let me see exactly. Let's look to see exactly how late he was into. Oh, oh, crap. We can't look at the animation on there. Oh, well. But yeah, you know, if you added 7 frames on top of that, he could shield. In IRL, you're not shielding that. And then like right here, you see a Greninja jumping. You just hold shield. Just hold shield because he's going to come down with an aerial and it's going to shield Can. Or you just kind of sit back and just like let an actual situation where he has to approach you happen. And then from there, it's hard for that to happen. Also, you know, while it's kind of nice to have like Can like set up in that fashion, you need Can in front of you against Greninja. Or like right behind you, you're not going to really get much by throwing it all the way over there. Also, burning your double jump there, that's really bad. Like the one thing I can understand is that you don't want to go low against Greninja because Hydro Pump can be a little scary, but just don't do it. And again, panic clay pigeon. Not good. And it's like, I'm not sure if this was a misinput there, but after he got hit by that Can, he somehow thought he had a tech situation on here, even though he was at 13%. Like, no, that wasn't going to work. Like, if he was at a percentage where a tech situation would have happened here, clay pigeon to that platform makes sense. That was not even remotely set up at all. Like you got to play neutral again. And also there, it's just like he kind of put himself in the line of danger of the water shrieking. Like sure, he avoided it there and he was able to catch him in coming down with fair. But like overall, he's been doing this pattern like over and over again. And he hasn't really changed it up. If he knew that, if he was like aware that JW likes to like, you know, he's been basically going in and he hasn't really been forcing him to respect it because he's always pulling projectiles when he's right there. Then, you know, that makes sense. Get your fair and then get your like combos after that. But he's not even doing that. Also, he's not ready to punish jumps. So he did that to grab. You can kind of do that as like an alternative spot dodge full hop, especially as Greninja. And Greninja's not a character you want to up B against. Out of all the characters that you could do the up B for, this is probably the worst. Amazing ground speed, amazing aerial speed. She's like, oh, where you at? Okay, up air, up air, up air. Just no. Also, that was a regrab too. Like, he's doing all this fancy stuff with like absolutely zero substance. Like, he's doing it because he knows he can, but he's not thinking about how this is going to benefit him in neutral at all. And the other thing too is like against a character that can do like, I don't really call Greninja a rushdown character. Like, he just kind of picks up points and like darts in. So for the segment, we'll call it rushdown because he's fast on the ground. You need to know what your actual safe range is to pull a projectile. That's more than half a stage. If he's half a stage, you're not pulling anything. If he's past that, sure. But if he's half a stage, don't pull. Like, as he saw, they started the match, he pulled a can immediately, he got punished. So you've got to be farther away from that in order for that to be safe. That was hands. But yeah, it's just like overall, big Duck Hunt fan, he's not paying attention to verticality at all. And JW is abusing that crazy. Like, if you're not aware of that, like that aspect of the character when you're fighting Greninja's tricky to deal with. But once you understand like how limited it is the second he jumps, much easier to deal with him. See, like, this time around, JW didn't think, like, wait, I could have just ran up and punished him. Because I think he did the same exact opening again. Yeah, like, literally, if he did the same thing, dash up, dash attack, he would have punished him again. But he's now actually, like, playing how you would expect him to play game one. He's like, huh, what does Duck Hunt do? And that's really weird. Like, okay. As a Duck Hunt player, you should know this was, like, guaranteed, like, that forward throw to Cad. So I'm surprised he was not ready for the follow-up there. Like, if you wanted to do forward throw, dash attack, okay. Like, forward throw, dash attack, bear can, loop. Fine. But he pinged can, and he decided to go for dash attack. It's confusing. Like, you could go for one or the other, not both. See, like, okay, compared to all the other clay pigeons he was doing before, see, now Greninja was like about half a stage away and he had to deal with can. So now you could throw out the clay. You could throw out the clay pigeon. But something I'll say right here, I think it was before this. Like, he's not really taking advantage of the space that he has here. So let me talk about this real fast. So, okay, now he's locked behind can. Now you want to jump, but you want to get to this spot. So in all likelihood, he's probably not going to run towards can. Because, you know, if he drops shield, dashes, ping, punished. He's pretty much going to be locked to jumping, and he has his back turned, so if he has that, then you at least have to respect Bear because, like, Bear is actually pretty fast. But if he lands with Bear, let me see how unsafe that is. Bear is -8, -7. Okay, so respectable. But after he does a Bear, hey, what's Greninja gonna do? Like, he could turn around jab. And at that point, that'd be 11 frames of frame advantage. But if he doesn't space that properly, you're going to be able to get the grab off of that. But yeah, there, he did that bear. So he could have been ready. Stuff it out with like a fair over there. It's just that you pretty much guaranteed the situation for yourself there, but he didn't go for it. See, okay, now let's look at the spacing on this. So now he's about like half a stage away, and he makes sure to dash back before he throws it out. So you have that extra layer of safety. Jump's going to be covered by can, so he's pretty much guaranteed to run forward. And at least with that, you're going to have an actual hitbox there. And with Bear, The last hit is strong enough to break Clay Pigeon, but if he doesn't get that one, it's not going to do it. And the other thing that's great too is because I don't think he can short hop auto cancel that. You've also got those 10 frames of landing lag on the ground, so that was a pretty easy call for that Clay Pigeon right there. The thing that's a little confusing though is like he actually had a full setup into a double Clay Pigeon right there, so he could have gone for a much better punish. Big drop there. I mean, at least he got the pickup there, but he could have put a lot more ledge pressure. Don't know why he doesn't do that. That was such a guaranteed shield grab there. He didn't have to second guess like anything going on there. Just shield, boom. He wasn't confident in punishing dash attack, but like he had an opening on that. I will say this though, if you're not confident in punishing a quick option like that, don't go for it. Like just stay safe. At this point, you need to reset your can, and he whooped him with this so hard. Like you need to be really patient against Greninja just because he does have this option to edge guard you, and you do need to reset this can as quickly as possible. Also, again, let's look at how much wasted effort just happened here. Okay, so you've got that. You set the can over there. And then for some reason you decide to jump up and gunman, even though your gunman's right there. So what do you have set up here? If he decides to meet shield any of this, like it's going to put him in hit lag. Can's blinking. So if he hits that, he blows up. So his basically his only option here is to jump. So he can stay back here and just like be ready to do his next setup. Or he can be ready to like cover the jump that basically is going to happen, because there's no reason for JW not to go in because he's pretty confident, but he also could play safe too. No idea why he went for that. Clay Pigeon's not going to convert into anything. Greninja lands in front of him and he Clay Pigeons. That's not like a controller error. That's a player error right there. So, like, when you see somebody land like right in front of you, you can run away and like try to be safe about it. You can also jab too. Like, jab is probably going to be your best friend there, just so you get the frame advantage over whatever they decide to do to you. He goes for Clay Pigeon. Like, out of everything you could have done. Like, the good thing is it's like, okay, if Greninja shields Clay Pigeon, he doesn't really have a good option to punish you. So, on that front, I'll give him that. But at the same time, it's like you can just do, like, jab, jab. And then, at least if you catch him, then you can convert into a jab combo. And if you somehow whiff, you'll be able to throw up a shield. And he does that all the time. Now JW can just do that movement pattern. He's going to get around it. I will say, like, that spacing on that recovery was very good. Also, just, like, zero awareness of how Greninja's going to fall after that can. And, like, off of that point, you could have gone for, like, the fair back air on platform, or you could just gone for another can to just cover that area and just set up for a much better advantage. So if you go there, he either takes the hit, which I think he had a guaranteed follow-up off of any of those tech options, unless he did roll away. Or if he did drop down, just run, grab, pummel, throw it a can, and all that stuff. Also, like there, like it's not necessarily bad that he's playing safe around this because he's at getting closer to death percent, but you do have a gunman can set up. You could play a little bit closer and like get something off of it. Also, he's not taking into consideration that like Greninja could just run under that clay pigeon and punish you with dash attack still. And again, like if you want to see like exactly like how far away he was, like this is where he is. I think technically speaking, I think he caught him he caught him dashing away. So he could have shielded here. But he's just not taking this consideration. And dash attack, this is a reminder, dash attack is negative 13 on shield. So decently safe, but like it's going to get shield grabbed. It doesn't push you away far enough. And on Duck Hunt's end, if you're ready for it, you should be able to up smash, correct? Yeah, you can up smash it. You have 1 frame to do it, but it's possible. Unless he hits you at the end of it. If he hits you at the end of dash attack, then that's not happening. And it's a big drop right there. Oh, Jesus. Okay, look at this. So, okay, Greninja's pretty useless. Full hop up air. He's got to, like, air dodge through or he has to double jump away. And then you can reset on the platform and then cover whatever option he does afterwards. There, he could have actually ran forward and dash attacked. And, like, off of that, that's rough. But, like, here, like, he could have just, like, thrown out, like, a gunman there to have this entire region covered. So if he jumped, Can's waiting for him. He goes forward. You have time to shield. And then just, like, if he does dash attack, you can punish that. If he grabs you, gunman's probably going to punish him. But look, he covered where his Can was with up smash. So if he did up smash, it was going to hit into Can, and he wouldn't have died. Like he ruined his own setup there. Like he's not thinking of coverage. He's just thinking of like how can I look cool hitting my opponent, and that's mostly it. And there, like he went for a Wi-Fi thing there. Technically speaking, like I think he thought he was out of range of get up attack, but I guess he wasn't ready for that. That was definitely an input error. I think he knows that he could have killed him off of that. Yeah, so down tilt F smash, there you need to be careful about air dodging. But there you could have air dodged and been okay. On stage, you just need to make sure you air dodge in a direction. Let's see, what distance was he at there? What option did he go for afterwards? Jesus. Yeah, he's just not watching where his opponent is. That's really the crux of it. He went for an F smash? The hell? He's doing something wild there. Just whatever options he's choosing here, just don't do it. Other thing too that I should mention, he's been doing this a lot. This is very bad against Greninja. Greninja's very good at pressuring the platforms. Like obviously he's got up air. Up smash can do it. I don't know if his up tilt reaches on this one, but if it does, that's another way that he can pressure, but mostly just because he has up air. And he can also even do like, back air too, like back air pressure from below. So there's just like a lot of ways you can just like keep like harassing your shield and then like doing like something disjointed or just like up smashing it eventually to like get some real damage off you. So you don't really want to set up here. You do want to focus on controlling the ground because if Greninja has to jump, his mobility is not great. What's great about his mobility is the ground and how fast he moves in the air, but it's not horizontally in there. It's the vertical. The verticals are good, but the frame data is awful. So That's why you want to focus on controlling the ground so he can't do that quick burst against you. And you want to keep him in the air just because that's so much easier to stuff out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. You never fish for specific setups. It's like, okay, I want to cover this. And then you play around that. Oh, yeah, dude. I still haven't done Wisdom set yet. And that's like the main one after this. So... yeah, it's just like, yeah, don't try to set up over here against Greninja. Set up on the ground. Control the ground. That's going to do a lot more for you. And, like, if anything, you want your can to be on the ground more so it cuts off his movement and it forces him to jump. Because JW's been jumping around the can. And if you keep that in mind, it's so much easier to stuff out Greninja. But if you keep it there and you keep the ground open, it's a lot easier for him to get in. And now he's done. Because that's the thing. His easiest kill confirms are going to come off of that. Dash attack or down tilt. And if you put Ken on the ground, you essentially cut that off from him. Where in the air, technically he's got Nair. But Nair is like so telegraphed because of how much time it takes before he jumps. Like, you know, Nair is a frame 12 option. So he's got to like just launch himself at you and like hope you don't shield. That's kind of the issue with that. But yeah, the main thing is like, you know, you need to watch your opponents. You need to get used to people like actually being able to punish your clay pigeons and like being able to react to you. On Wi-Fi, you can get into a pattern, make it really difficult and frame tight to get in and punish you. But the reality is it's like when you get to offline play, not only is your opponent's movement a lot more responsive, if you keep doing those patterns, it's so much easier for them to get around it. Where Wi-Fi, there's just so many different factors that could come in to inhibit you. Offline, you're going to have that consistency and that responsiveness. So naturally, by that extension, they're going to deal with all those things a lot better. And the other thing too is like, at least in this particular setup, like it doesn't feel like you did any preparation for Greninja. Like you kind of fought him like every other character without like any insight to like how you need to cut off Greninja. So remember, his frame data in the air is bad in terms of how he can approach you in neutral. Like he's got Bear, which is frame 5, but he's, for the most part, he's not going to be doing that because he doesn't really get too much off of that. And if he's approaching with Bear, he's not really going to get those kill confirms either. So he's going to do Nair, which is like a frame 12 option. So if you see him running at you, if he's facing you, it's either a frame 12 option with Nair or it's a frame 16 option with forward air. Which if you see that and you jump and you stuff him out, then you're good. On the ground, super fast, and dash attack sets up into things, and that's frame 7, fast, and down tilt's frame 5. Both very good. One's negative 12 on shield, the other's negative 13. So if he doesn't space it, not safe. If he spaces it, the down tilt's safe, the dash attack is not. So you want to cut off the ground as much as you can. So you know you can have like that can controlling it, you can have that gunman controlling it. It's just you want to lock him into that shield or you want to force him to jump. Because when he jumps, he's very, very vulnerable. If he's on the ground, you've got to fight him a lot more honestly. It's just the big thing is that he's not going to run up and grab you. Because that's slow. Like I mentioned, his dash grab is frame 13. Not great. So he's going to be more focused on doing those tilts because they are a lot safer and they actually set up for a lot more. Where like, you know, grab, he can do up throw, like up air combos and things like that, but nothing too crazy. And then, like, you know, down throw, he can do, like, the F smash gimmick, but, like, it's not really anything that's true. It's just that he catches you off guard once, and that's mostly it. So, you know, make sure that you have your can controlling the ground. Make sure you really understand how to exploit his aerial vulnerabilities. And, like, really watch, like, what options he wants to use to approach you, because it doesn't look like you're watching that at all. And if you were, I think a lot of your can placements and everything would come into place, and you'd find your openings a lot better off of that. Also be aware of how he can edge guard you. You were kind of just like neglecting Shadow Sneak and he got that really sick early kill. But unfortunately that happened on stream, so everyone saw it. And yeah, it's like you kind of do have to recover low against Greninja because his vertical and ground speed is so good, he can catch you going high very easily. And he, like, whenever you recovered high, as long as he knew he was in position, he did like Nair fair and you died. So you've got to watch that as well. But yeah, overall, you did bad this set. I mean, I can at least give you the Johns of the controller, but that really wasn't the issue. The real issue was that you stuck with the same game plan that works on Wi-Fi. It wasn't really a game plan that works against like Greninja. Like, game 2 you were moving decently, but once he kind of figured, okay, he's going to do these movement patterns, he two stocked you. But he also did take that like first stock very, very early. But you need to focus on adjusting to your opponents, and you really need to get better at like smarter can placements and playing around that. Like, the thing that sucks is because you're so locked to playing on Wi-Fi, there's a lot of offline specific duck hunt things that you cannot practice on Wi-Fi just because the reactions that you need with can are you can't replicate it on Wi-Fi. You physically can't do that. But if you did get those things into your gameplay in terms of like the neutral, which is the most important part, I do think you do a lot better. So I do hope you're able to go out to more tournaments. If you do go to Let's Make Moves Miami, I'll do my best to meet you up there since I do live in Florida and my parents' place is around there. And yeah, we can get some gains in there. All right.